Hi crafty friends, Melissa Miner here. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel. Today I am unboxing and creating with the October 2025 Shimmerz Color Kits. So let's go ahead and get to unboxing. So here's a look at everything that comes in the kit. You can see we've got some paints and dots and ephemera and all kinds of things. I'm going to set this stuff to the side and we're first going to start with the paper. So you can see here we've got pink with some stars, and on this side there's pumpkins and ghosts and little kitty cats. This one's so cute. I love the little like smaller scale designs on the pattern paper this month. This might be my favorite kit so far this year. I really love it. So here's another pattern paper with like some fun designs, and on the back you can see here we've got some Halloween words. Again, it's that smaller scale, so it's great for not only scrapbooking, but card making as well. Here's some spider webs, and then we've got the black and white and orange stripe. Here we've got a grid. We've got the pink and the orange here. And then on the other side, ooh, this is really neat. We've got spider webs like in the corners. I love this one. I can see maybe painting in the center of that. And then we've got this one here. Super cute. And then we've got some stripes. We've got some Halloween words here. Ghoul gang, ghoul gang. That's really cute. And then just like a pattern with orange. And then here we have some jack-o'-lantern faces. That's cute. I like this one. And then on the back we have a little Halloween scene, like a graveyard scene. And then this next paper here, it's pink, and we've got some bats and some ghosts, and then some like wonky sized dots. So I love the paper in the kit this month. It's going to be so fun to create Halloween layouts with this kit. All right, also included in the kit, you receive a painting sheet. So you can see here, and then you can fussy cut these out. So we've got some pumpkins and ghosts and candy, a little haunted house. So a little spider, a star, and then we've got 3 dots. So we've got the spider, boo, and then the pink ghost. So those are fun. And then this month we receive a stencil. So this is from Simple Stories, and it's got bats on it. And then there's lots and lots of ephemera in the kit. So let me show you the ephemera. I'm going to pull this out and we will look at these. This one I think is my favorite. Look at this little ghost holding like little coffees. Trick or treat. Here's another trick or treat. Got a pink pumpkin here, some spider web, a ghost, a little coffin. There's a skull, and we've got some more cute little pumpkins, some different colors. There's a ghost, some jack-o'-lanterns here. Got a little Halloween scene, maybe a little journaling card here, a haunted house, the words Happy Halloween, broom hair, don't care, a candy, some more pumpkins, some candy corn, the word spooky. There's those little like witch feet. There's a book. Oh, and I love the little kitty cat. There's more in here. There is so much ephemera in this kit. So let's take a look here. Oh, I've got a candy corn that's stuck in there. And then there's the other foot. We've got another little kitty cat, some candy, candy corn. We've got a broom. Here's some bats. And then we've got this little Halloween pumpkin, candy corn. And we've also got like a little circle piece of ephemera. Really cute. Now also included in the color kits, you receive some paints. So I'm going to go ahead and spray some water in this one. This one's a Creameez. Now the Creameez now come in pans, but I have a jar here. So I just wanted to make sure you are aware of that. But let's go ahead and start with swatching this color. This is called Punkin Pie Vibez. So this has a spray, so you can spray this one. And with the vibes, it's got like, it's a little bit shimmery on it. So you can see some sparkle there. Then this next one here, this is called Black Hole Color Splash. Now this is like an acrylic paint, and this is my favorite, one of my favorite colors to use for like black splattering. So you can see here, that's a really rich color. So let me put that one back on here, and let's take a look at the next one. So next up we have a Shimmerz, and this one is called Pinky Swear. Oh, let's see, yeah, Pinky Swear Shimmerz. Ooh, that's almost like a wine color. I really like that. And of course the shimmers are really shimmery and sparkly and shiny. Where the Vibez has like almost like a glitter tone to it, Shimmers are shinier. And then this one is, let me see here. This one is the Pinko de Mayo Shimmers. So again, it's shiny and sparkly. It's a really, really pretty pink. And then last here in the collection is the Clementine Creameez. So with the Creameez, you just spray a little water in them to activate them. And this is another orange. This is like a different shade of orange. So really, really pretty colors this month. Now also, you can purchase this separately. So this is called the bonus bundle. And in the bonus bundle, you receive sequins and a paint. So you can see here the sequins, got some little ghosts and pumpkins and spiders. And then you also receive a paint. So the paint this month that comes with the bonus bundle is called The Perfect Pair. And it's a shimmer, so it's shimmery and sparkly. And it really does look like a pear color. And I believe the bonus bundles are only like $5. So it's a really great way to get another paint and to get some really pretty sequins that coordinate with the collection. Be sure to add my name, Melissa Miner, to the notes section of your orders, and Shimmerz will send you a free paint. All right, let's go ahead and get started on today's layout. So I've got two photos here, and this is my little kitty Pepper, and he's in his pumpkin bed. So there he is. You can't even see him in that one. He's all the way in the pumpkin bed, and every time we leave the house, he is asleep in this pumpkin bed. In fact, he sleeps in it when we're here too, but generally every time we're gone, we'll come home and we can't find him. He's in the pumpkin. So what gave me the idea of getting this pumpkin, I don't know if you follow like the Aldi's, what is it called, like Aisle of Shame or something? Aldi's Aisle of Shame on Facebook. And they always show like the cool things that they have at Aldi's. Well, one of the things was these fall beds for kittens. And when my daughter went to go pick one up for us, they were actually sold out. Her and her friend went, they had one, and her friend got it for her kitty cat. And so I thought, oh my goodness, I missed out. And then I decided to look on Amazon, and I ended up finding this one on Amazon. It was a little more expensive than the ones at Aldi's. I think the ones at Aldi's were like $10. They were really, really cheap, maybe even less than that. I think I paid like $20 for this one maybe. Totally worth it because he loves it so much. Now it looks a little deformed sometimes, but it's super cute. So this is his little Halloween pumpkin. So I'm going to go ahead and create a layout. What I envision here is I have a strip of pattern paper, I believe at like 5 inches, and then I've got another little strip of paper. I cut a couple inches off, and I believe it's 3 inches across maybe there. I'm sorry, I didn't measure these. Now I want to add some mixed media, and I want to color in more of that white space, like in an orange color. So I think I've decided that I want the Punkin Pie Vibez. Now this white cardstock I'm using, it is a mixed media cardstock from scrapbook.com, and this is so great for coloring, for painting on, because the paint doesn't just soak in, it moves around. So it's like a watercolor paper. It's great for painting. So I'm going to go ahead and make some pencil lines here so I know where I need to paint. I'm going to spray some water on here so that way when I do put the paint on, it will move around. Now I cut this white piece of paper down to 11 1/4 by 11 1/4. And this way I'm going to mat it on some black cardstock. So that's why you'll see it's not full 12 by 12. And when I put my other pattern paper on there, it will hang over a little bit. Now I got this piece of like acrylic here. I'm not sure what it's called. It's like some plastic. And I first thought I would just use the packaging technique, spray some water and some paint on here, and then smoosh it around. But I decided that I didn't really like all the lines it was leaving, so I decided to spray the paint directly onto the cardstock. And now I'm taking a paintbrush and dipping it in some water, and I'm just kind of moving the paint around to give it more of like that messy look. I don't want it to look all matchy-matchy, so I'm just spreading the paint around, letting it go where it wants to, but making sure that I'm getting those lines and moving those paint lines around. Now over there, kind of towards the right or the center, that it really isn't going to show because that's on the other side of my pencil line, so I'm not really worried about that area too much. So I'm going to continue painting here, and then I will bring in my heat tool, and I will go ahead and dry this before I continue on with the next step in this process. So after I get this heated, I do want to bring in a paint color. So now that it's all heated, first before I bring in some more paints, I decided that I want to use the bat stencil. So I've got a little sponge dauber here, and I just want to make a couple bats in a couple areas. So I've got the Black Soot Distress Oxide ink, so it's that black Distress Oxide. I'm just going to put a few bats on the page, and that's why I like using this finger dauber, because I can control where I get that ink. So there we go, I've got the bats, and now I want to go ahead and just add some splatters of the Pinky Swear Swimmers, or Shimmer Swimmers, Pinky Swear Shimmers, that's a tongue twister. And I'm going to go ahead and make some splatters just in a couple areas with this color. So I'm dipping my paintbrush into the water, and then I'm just going to tap my paintbrush, and I'm going to make some splatters here. Now I did get a few larger splatters, but that's okay. I'm going to add some more layers to this, and so not a lot of this is going to show. So I went ahead and I'll get this done, and then I will also bring in my heat tool again off camera just to make sure that everything's dry and I don't smear things before I start putting my page together. So I also want to add some of this black hole acrylic color splash. And like I said, this is one of my favorites. This is definitely a must-have color. If you don't have the black hole color splash, you definitely want to get this one. It's perfect for all your splatters. So that's why this month it's really great to get the color kits. You can even get just the paint kit. And so if you do, you would get all these colors of paint, and it comes with the black hole. So it's a great time to try this kit out if you've been watching and just waiting to purchase it. This one is a good one. So I'm going to go ahead and put this patterned paper on here. Like I said, it's got the ghosts, the little bats, the spider web, the pink pumpkin, and then the little jack-o'-lantern and some stars. It's really, really cute. Then on the reverse side is this pink star paper. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down. And then once I get all of my layers done, then I'll bring in the black for the background. Now I did a few things off camera. One of the things that's included in the color kits is a cut file. And this spider web is one of the cut files that's included in the kit this month. So I resized it down to I think about 5 inches. And I printed this on my Cricut, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue half of it over here, and then I'm going to snip this off. Now my first thought was that I would just use half of this spider web over here, and then I would save the other half for another layout. But once I get this spider web cut, my page evolves a little bit and my idea changes. And I decided that I want to use the other half of this spider web on the same layout. So I'm going to go ahead and tuck the other half over here. And I really, really like that. Again, that wasn't my initial idea to do that, but I like the way it looks. So I'm really happy that I did that. So we'll get that glued down. Now, while I had my Cricut out and I knew I was using the black cardstock, I did a couple other things. I made some little, I made a banner, I cut a spider, and then I also cut like a few little pieces that look like washi tape. Then I took a die from my stash to make this little notebook edge with that same pink star paper. And then I tore a piece of the paper that's on the right-hand side. I went ahead and just tore a piece to put along this edge over here. I also took some black cardstock and also tore it. And we're just gonna make like a little paper cluster over here on the left-hand side. So I'm gonna glue this down, and it will hang off the edge just a little bit because remember, I am gonna add a layer of black cardstock to the back of all of this once I get this all ready to go here. So I like the way that looks. Now I want to bring in my photos just to kind of see where I want these. Now originally I thought I wanted both of the pictures to be to the left of the pink star paper, but since I added that spider web, I thought it just looked better to move that top photo over to the right just a little bit, and then I would move the bottom photo down and over to the left a little bit. So we'll get this one in place. And these are not normal sizes. So what I did is I really wanted a landscape style picture for the top, but these were portrait. So I just drug it out on my print to size app just as big as I could get it without losing the design of the photo. And then I printed it. So, and I also did the same for the bottom. For the bottom, I have a square photo there at the bottom. And I believe it's 4x4 for the bottom. It was more of a square shape, I believe, yes. But the top one is a little off size. But that's what I really like about printing at home on the Epson PictureMate 400 is you can print your pictures any size that you want. And then I took those photos and I glued them on some black cardstock to mat them. All right, you can see here I do have my black background paper and I'm adding lots and lots of wet tacky glue. Anytime you have mixed media layout, you want to use wet glue so that everything adheres together and stays together forever. So I love, love, love the way this is looking. Just adding glue in a few more places that I think it's kind of coming up a little bit. Now I want to add this spider, and this is just a spider that I got off Cricut Design Space, just a free spider. So maybe add that to the page because every spider web needs a spider. And then I've also got this little banner and then these little pieces of like washi tape. So it's like faux washi tape that I cut on the black pattern paper or black cardstock. And then I also used one of the orange pattern papers that came in the kit, and I used the die from my stash for these little, I think you call them file tabs. So I cut a couple of those file tabs out just to give, you know, some little layers up here behind the photos. So I did one for each, and they're different file tab designs. So I'll put the washi tape back here and then the file tab. So I'm gonna do that. I originally thought I wanted the washi tape at the top, but now since I have that spider web there, everything's changing a little bit. And now I think I want it over here to the right-hand side for this one. So there we go. Now I'm ready to start bringing in some embellishments. I know I want to use this banner, so I'm going to dry fit it here. I'm just going to place it here for a moment. And now I want to look through the ephemera. Now I knew immediately that I wanted to use the little kitty cats, so I'm thinking maybe one peeking out from the top of the photo. And you know what? I really like them peeking out from each of the photos and putting them on these file tabs. So I'm going to go with that. And I think that's super, super cute since I'm scrapbooking my kitty Pepper. I'm going to add a little bit of foam. I think this is the 1mm foam. It's very, very thin, but it'll give it just enough dimension. So we've got this little kitty cat here, and I'm putting it on the edge of the photo, and then I'll add a little foam to the top piece, and we'll have this one up here just kind of peeking out. So let me peel back the release paper, and we'll get this one glued down. Now for the rest of the embellishments, I really have no idea what I want to do. All of the pieces of ephemera would work very well. I'm thinking maybe, I like this little house, but it really draws your eye to it, so I don't think I want to use that. I like the words Happy Halloween, and I was originally thinking that. I really like these pumpkins. I'm thinking maybe a pumpkin over here by my photo, and maybe the smaller one here. And then I picked out some ghosts and the word trick or treat. So I'm going to go ahead and put some foam behind the little pumpkin. We'll put that over here in the corner. And then I've got the 2 ghosts over there on the top of my banner. And they're 2 different sizes, so I love that when I have embellishments that are different sizes. I usually like when I have 3, all of different sizes. I feel like that's pleasing to the eye. But I didn't have 3, I have 2, and I still think it looks really cute. So I'm ready to glue down the banner that I cut with the black cardstock, and I'm just going to kind of tuck it here behind this pattern paper layer. So we'll get that in place. And then I want to layer these ghosts over top of the banner. So I've got the bigger ghost here on the left-hand side, and then the smaller ghost, I will place him right next to there. And then I've got the little sign, which is, this is going to be my title, and it's trick or treat. So there we go. I'm not sure if I want to add any more embellishments. I'm going to put a little bit more glue in a few spots where I think it's kind of coming up. Just want to make sure this stays together forever. Now I know I want to bring in the dots. So I am going to look through the ephemera to see if there's anything else I want to add. No, and you know, I've got some more pattern papers here, or some more black cardstock, but I know I want to use the dots. So I went ahead off camera and I pulled one of the dots off of the cardstock. And I'm taking some thread from my stash here. This is just some sewing thread, and I put some double-sided adhesive on the back of the dots, and I just kind of made my little messy tangled thread, and I'm putting it behind there. Now I'm adding some liquid glue, and I'm going to stick this right on my photo. So this says Boo, which is so cute. I don't know about Boo. He just looks so cute. I love this photo. I'm going to stick my water on here just to hold that down for a moment. Now, as I was looking at the layout, I felt like it just needed something else. So I'm going to take a little black Sharpie here and just draw a line around the edge of the paper. And that just gives it like another little detail. And I love that little subtle detail. Now, one thing I like to do when I draw these lines is just make a little dash, 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 dash in several areas. And so I really like that. Then the next thing I want to do here is still keep out my black Sharpie, and I'm going to draw some lines. Now this is where I get really nervous because my layout's done, and I'm going to add a few lines using a ruler and add my journaling. So I'm going to write here, Pepper loves his pumpkin bed. He's been caught sleeping in it every day. And then I want to add the year 2025. So I don't quite have enough room for my journaling, so I will go in and add just one more line so that I can finish up my little story here. So that is going to wrap up today's layout. If you've enjoyed today's video, please hit that thumbs up button. If you're new, I hope you'll subscribe and come back. Thank you so much for all your kind comments that you leave. I love reading all of them, and it really, really helps me out and brings my spirits up here on YouTube. Don't forget to add my name to your Shimmerz Paints order so that you can receive a free gift. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye!